Run It Studios and the Arthritis Foundation of Missouri bring you this special episode of the Run Radio Podcast. Welcome back to the Run Radio Podcast, collaboration with the Arthritis Foundation of Missouri. Welcome, my guest, Kyra Jones.
Hello, everybody.
Thanks for being here. As someone who runs and likes to be active, I know that you have been an athlete. You are a young 24-year-old who loves basketball and also dealing with a diagnosis. Can you tell me a little bit about the whole evolution of it all?
Yes, ma'am. So I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis at the age of 11. And at first, I wasn't aware of what it was or what it would do to me. I just knew I didn't like how I was treating my body.
Yeah.
As an athlete, it was even harder because I'm a person that loves playing basketball. I love the whole game about it. I love being aggressive. And so when I started having flare-ups and I didn't know what to do. I was thinking like, okay, I might have did something or bumped something where my body was swelling up in places. And it took us a minute to realize what was going on. And when we finally were able to understand, like, okay, she's sick, she needs to get to a hospital.
Yeah.
That's when I finally like actually found out. Well, actually, I found out that they told me I had lupus and then sickle cell. And then that's when we came to finding out I had RA.
Okay. Okay. So they thought it was something else and then fine. Okay. About how long did that whole process take? Was that months, years?
The whole process of me finding out.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it took 2 days.
Oh, good.
'Cause
I mean,
I, what happened was I was actually out of town in Troy, Missouri, and we were playing the game, and my body was, it went into an active flare where my entire body shut down in the middle of the game, and I was only a
wow.
kid,
Yeah.
so when it happened, I thought I was like I was dying. I thought I was dying. I'm like, I need to get out the game. I gotta go to the bathroom. Something's going on.
Right.
As soon
Right.
as my dad, he was my coach, he subbed me out, and I ran to the bathroom, passed out in the bathroom. A lady came in there and she found me in the bathroom and was like, "Are you okay?" Was asking what's wrong. I was like, "I don't know. I feel sick. Like I want to throw up. I was feeling all type of stuff." That was like, "Where's your dad?" I said, "He's coaching." She ran out and got my dad. We went to the emergency room out there, and we were there literally overnight. They were just sticking me, poking me, taking blood work, and coming back was like, "Okay, we think you got lupus." 2 hours later, they come back and was like, "Okay, it might not be lupus, it might be sickle cell." And at that point, my dad was like, "You know what? It's 3 in the morning. We finna leave."
Yeah.
Went straight to, as soon as we got back home, we went to Children's, and within 3 hours of being there, they came back around like that third, maybe fourth hour and was like, "Okay, your daughter has RA and she's in an active flare." And so then the progress began from there.
So at this time, you are 11 at this point.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, what was that like to get such big information being an 11-year-old?
I was a kid, so honestly, the only thought was I gonna die or am I still
Oh,
able to play basketball? Like that's the first question I asked my
yeah.
dad.
Yeah. So, and what was it like? What were they telling you?
They were like, "Yeah, you're gonna still be able to play basketball," because at the time it wasn't really bad as it is now.
Yeah.
So at first it was, you're gonna play basketball, but you're gonna be taking a lot of medications. You're gonna have a lot of doctor visits, and it's gonna be a hard road to at least being able to play basketball again. Because when I had that attack, I believe I was out for 3 to 4 months because
Yeah.
I came back that summer, and that's when we were in conditioning season with my dad's team, AAU team, and I miss being with my team. I miss working out, and as much as I don't like being outside running, I missed it.
Yeah.
Everything about it, I missed it as a kid, and it really just, my dad was able to find ways. All right, this is what we're gonna do. Come up with plans so we can start getting my body back, at least putting it into remission, because they explained
Yeah.
everything about the remission state to him. I really wasn't able to figure out like what that meant. So he was coming up with plans as I was going, and as the doctor's appointments was coming, we getting results back. He was just steady coming up with plans. Yeah, all right,
Yeah.
this is what week one will look like for working out. We're gonna take it easy and then going on from there.
Yeah. it helps having the support of your family and have them do, because like you said, you're a kid. You just want to know that you're going to be okay and be able to be a kid.
Yes, ma'am.
So, how did that move forward from you? So you get into remission, or did you get into remission right away?
No, I didn't. I would say by the end of the summer, I ended
Okay.
up in remission.
Uh-huh.
Okay, for my, I would say this like going into my seventh grade year, eighth grade year. I was okay. Freshman year, I kind of started to have flare up problems again. And then it was like, it just went away. I was okay for a minute. I was playing the safe side. So I was still kind of nervous about everything. I was still feeling like my body was hurting. I was feeling the cracking, the bones popping, all of it. And it was still, at first, still kind of new to me. So as time went by, I would say my sophomore year of high school, I had a flare up again.
Mm,
And this one happened right before the season started, basketball season started. It wasn't as bad at first, but it was still challenging because I wasn't able to do certain things. Like I was still able to run and move. I wasn't moving as fast as I wanted to, but I would still be able to dribble just a little bit, just enough to where I can at least help out my team in a way. I couldn't shoot, and
oh,
it was like
yeah.
one of the hardest things for me, and it made me so mad because I would have games where I would do so good, everything goes rebounding, being physical, and I didn't have no points because I couldn't shoot a ball.
Yeah.
Because I knew the moment I tried to shoot a ball, it would be an instant air ball, and it would look like a kid shot a ball,
Yeah.
and it's just embarrassing. So them
Mm,
more times that really hurted me the most because not being able to be, especially being a captain at a young age on as a sophomore, I had a lot of roles to take on, and being sick and trying to work with being having RA and being a captain, it was not an easy task. It really was.
yeah. Yeah. So at what point did you decide to step back from the game?
I honestly, I never wanted to step back from the game.
Yeah.
I was told, we in 25. So this would be right in 2020, 5 years ago. I was told that I won't be able to play basketball no more because I was at a state where my knee went out bad and it caused the rest for some reason. Whenever I got injured, I would have a problem with that joint and it would go to the next joint. So in 2020, I had a leg injury from practice, which ended up having me sit out for the rest of the season. Only to find out later on at the beginning of 21 that I needed a hip replacement. That one joint that went out for me getting hurt started to deteriorate the other joints around.
Oh,
So I went from needing one hip replacement, which I didn't get until 22 because I was so scared and I was like, this gonna end everything.
oh,
So when I first found out that, I went and got my MRIs and everything for my first hip replacement done in 22 in June, and it was okay. They was like, look, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be moving back up right afterwards. Not knowing that my right hip was going out as well.
oh
So what it was
no.
doing was the RA was going from deteriorating one joint to the
Yeah.
next. And instead of it going after I got my right one done in October, right after I got my left one done, I ended up needing a shoulder replacement that following year.
Oh
So
my
I,
goodness. Oh,
so right now I'm three surgeries in, and they was pretty much saying like, look, more so being physical with the game, you are not going to be able to. But there, it was a possibility that I was going to be able to just do some things like whether it was just shooting and dribbling. And I don't know, I wasn't ready to accept that.
yeah.
And as much as like I talked to my dad and my mom about everything, it was like, how do I still come to the term with I have to give up something that I'm so passionate about that's all I've ever known, which is playing basketball or my dad putting the ball in my hand as a little girl, as a
Oh,
preschooler, and just having to see that whole dream of me not playing no more go out the window. So I would say my little brother makes sure I'm still active with the game because he plays college ball. And one thing about him is he gonna come to me like, "Sis, did you watch the game? All right, let's talk about it."
yeah.
Because he know I love talking about basketball. Or I've been reaching out to old coaches that I know, and they want me to do coaching positions at different high schools. that's a part I don't know if I'm ready to accept yet, because it's as me growing up, I've always had a physical somebody that was always visually showing me stuff. My dad was always putting me in directions like, all right, he's not the one that was just the coach that just sat on the lawn and tell me you need to go over there. No, my dad would literally take you by your jersey or your shirt
Yeah.
and like drag you to the position you're not getting it. So like that's the type of, not saying like I want to be the coach that drag a kid, but I want to be a visual aspect to the kids when I'm teaching. I don't
Yeah.
want them to just have to put the image in their head or draw down stuff for them. No, I want you to really learn the game and understand the basics of the game, because it's a really beautiful and loving game once you really understand it.
Yeah. Yeah. What about your teammates and your friends? Did they know what you were going through? Did you share that with them or did you keep it to yourself?
As a kid, so when I was a kid, when I got sick, we told them it. I told them like I'm sick in a way. It's like I got I told them my autoimmune disease. Like
Yeah.
I didn't really know how to pronounce R at the time, so I was
Yeah.
like, I got autoimmune disease. It's like, are you gonna die? No, I'm not gonna die. It's just something that's not curable. And that's the only way I was able to break it down to them. But I was like, it's gonna take effects on me. And that's like, oh, so them times where you were, yeah, I was having bad days and wasn't feeling good and could barely walk. It was because of that. And so, like now, the friends that I have, I can honestly say, when I found out about the hip replacements and everything, even before like they found out my situation when I came my freshman year to college, they were very understanding about everything. They were more so engaging and making sure that I never felt left out. They were always big, like, okay, do you got appointments today? Like, you need a ride to your appointment? Like, are you okay? Like, if I wasn't able to get out of bed in times where I had to call the ambulance to come get me and take me to the hospital, they would leave class and come sit up there with me, like, girl, they were just lecturing. We okay. I already got notes and everything. So like
Oh,
I really, and even though I'm not down there still at that school, just because of everything that's going on with my health, these friends are the same people that still reach out to this day, calling me, checking in on me. Um, what else? When it came to basketball and everything, even like times where I knew my body was hurting me and I still wanted to practice, they would like make sure, like if they were in my group or I was in a group and we had to do drills where we had to go against other players, they made it to where like, all right, if it's a rebound and knowing her, she want to get to a rebound or she want to get to the basket, we just gonna figure out how to play with her,
yeah.
everything. So we're gonna communicate on the sidelines before we get put it in, and then just like, look, if you want to attack, call a pick. If you want to go try to get a board, call something so we know and we can just work with you. That was the whole. When I tell you, that made me appreciate the friends that I have more, because I wasn't used to this. I was a person that really was to myself even in high school, and to especially about my sickness, people will always make little. That's something that not everybody knows, but those that grew up with me from high school on till now that I'm still close with, they can tell you. I've had people, because not knowing that I was sick, I was on crutches, on boots, all type of stuff randomly, just because my body will go and randomly start hurting and my ankle wake up and my ankle is fractured out of nowhere,
Mm.
or I tore a ligament out of nowhere. So me having to go get boots and crutches, people at school, high school, didn't really understand it, and I was known by everybody and loved by everybody, but I was still a joke to everybody because of my sickness, because of my
Yeah.
disease. So
Yeah.
it's, oh, you. They called me Cripple K. They called me all type of things, and at some point, I was just like, y'all can talk about me all y'all want, but when it comes down to it, y'all gonna always still be around me. So at this point, there's nothing else. These are just words.
Yeah.
I learned to I learned to take my situation and I learned to joke with it now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the Cripple K, that's the nickname that I go by. And I let my friends call me that. They be like, oh, what's a Cripple K or something like that. It don't hurt me. It doesn't bother me because I'm
Yeah.
bigger. This situation has taught me how to be so much bigger, so
Oh
much,
man.
much more mature than I ever have. And it taught me how to grow up at a young age.
Yeah, it does. It teaches you all of those things and who your friends are and you almost have to have a sense of humor about it because
If you
it's
don't,
ridiculous and it's frustrating and if you don't laugh, you're just gonna cry.
you gonna cry all the
Oh,
time. Like with the amount of pain I be in, I literally make
oh,
all jokes through all the pains. Like I might be, oh, this hurts so bad.
yeah, yeah,
So like my legs, I know I need a knee replacement. I was told I recently need a knee replacement in my right one. So with the little creaking and like when your vehicle need an oil change, it start creaking. What
Yeah.
I say is I need an oil every time I get up or I'm walking and I hear the creaking in my leg. Ooh, I need an oil change bad.
Yeah.
So like people like that's not a joke you want to make, Kyra. I'm used to it. I'm fine with like I don't mind the jokes.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Every
it has affected then your course of learning, your education. You've had to cut back and make changes. Talk about that a little bit. Has that how have you felt about that?
honestly, with the whole education part, I'm not gonna say I love school, but
Yeah.
in a way, I love school.
Hmm.
So like for me to have to start dealing with that at college, it was really scary because my family, my school might have been only an hour and a half away, but my family still wasn't able to just come up there or get to
Right.
me if they wanted to. So I had to learn how to deal with this on my own, especially like on top of staying on top of courses. I went to Stevens College. It's an all girls school in Columbia. So, the principals and everything are pretty much lenient about certain things, but at the same time, they want to push you. So I couldn't really like make it seem like, okay, I'm okay, but in a way, like I'm not okay. It was more so the trying to stay on task while being in pain, trying to get to court classes, even though like my classes weren't far from each other. It was just the still moving around
Yeah.
because I could wake up and especially if it started raining bad out of nowhere in the middle of the night, or if it started raining that morning, my body was feeling that pain the night in the middle of the night before it
Yeah.
started. So I had problems with that, and I would have to email my teachers. And then at some point, my teachers thought I was playing.
Yeah.
I had, I literally had, and she, even though I'm trying to go back to this school because I know I want to get my degree by the end of this year, this specific teacher, not gonna say her name, she wanted me to drop being a health science major because she was like, she felt like might have been too much for me. Um,
Mm.
she wanted me to. It was time she wanted me to drop her courses. Not even just having her like my first between being her from 19 to 22. It was times where she wanted me to drop my courses. She wanted me to drop her like just like we had meetings. And she was like, "What have you thought about doing a different major?" Because like you are sick, and then this is a lot for a person that's not compatible capable of doing it, and like especially the whole healthcare field. Like that's a lot. There's gonna be a lot of me. I was like, I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think she really was seeing that I really wanted her help to get better. If it's something I would feel like I didn't understand, I really wanted to try to talk to her about certain things, and she really was not budging with me. So like that was a discouragement part because I might have this condition, but one thing about it, and everybody knows, I love the human body. The anatomy of the human body is amazing to me. And then especially being like we're going through what we go through on a day-to-day basis, that
Right.
makes me because now even with the pains that I have, the people don't normally get. So when they do get those, I can help you in a
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
I've been through this, and I've been through every pain of my entire body. I know what it feels like from the toes all the way down to my jaws.
Yeah.
I have, like when I explain this to people, I have RA in my entire body. It's a 97% in my body. I want to help as much people as I can, whether it's the holistic ways, whatever the case may be. I want to help,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Well,
I don't think my teacher's seen it.
I don't think so either, but I
And
think you know in your heart that you can get through it. It may take a while, but we need people like you that are compassionate and understanding in that field. So don't let someone that can't relate keep you from it.
that is true.
So let's talk about the Arthritis Foundation a little bit. They are amazing. They're a great resource. How did you get plugged in with them?
Um, how did I? Okay, boom. Sorry.
Yeah.
This one of my dad's friends, and he looks at him like a godfather. So I kind of look at him like my great godfather. That makes sense. Um, his wife, she has all type of health problems, and she's always been a big advocate for me when it comes to my situation, always supported me, everything.
Hmm.
So she reached out and was like, look, my friend is in she's a part of this arthritis foundation. We would love for you to be a part, send you all the information needed, and go from there. The more I started to talk to everybody, the more I became engaged. And then when we started to have the first arthritis walk, which was last year for me, come up, it was very nerve wracking and very exciting at the same time because not only did I see seeing a different group of people, diverse people, ages, race, it don't matter where you come from, color, skin, size, age. I seen it all with RA, from
Hmm.
babies to older people. And that was just to me a beautiful thing. And when honestly the Arthritis Foundation we became really connected when after the first walk, it was tough for me because at the time I was still on I just transferred from being carried everywhere to being on a walker. So I kind of still was in that transition stage of being carried around. So when people seeing my dad had to carry me out the car and put him get to the walker and stuff like that, they was kind of like that she's concerned. I look young with lashes on and different color hair, but I need help. I get carried out of the car. So when we started walking, you have to do four laps around the park, the area that they have for you, and then go from there. I was only able to do one.
Yeah.
I got overlapped by everybody, but even when my group still walked with me, my group made sure that they stay at a steady pace with me because there were times where I couldn't keep it. I know I had to stop, sit down for a minute on my walker, and then fight myself to get back up and then keep pushing because even if I couldn't make one, just like the whole four, I wanted to make one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And doing that, just the one alone, and just talking to everybody as they was coming around, introducing myself, everybody cheering me on, and then I got a standing ovation at the end where they all waited and everybody was just like, "Look, we were moved by your situation. We don't know your story, don't know who you are, but we seen that you might have took your breaks in the midst of walking, but you still made one whole lap. You could have gave up at any point and stopped and sat down, or had somebody push you, and you constantly told them." Like, no, I'm a fighter. I can do this. I'm okay. And they started to reach out to my dad afterwards. Like, look, we want your daughter. It's like a lot of stuff they wanted to reach out to him about. And if I didn't know how to deal with all of it, so I was like, what? How do I go about this? And then Miss Leah started. They introduced me, Miss Leah, and it started to go from there. And I was just like, okay, okay,
Oh. And now you are the honoree for the walk for 2025.
yes, I am.
Amazing. What are your expectations, or do you have any for the walk this year?
For the walk this year, I more so want to get more people engaged with the whole Arthritis Foundation because not a lot of people take having arthritis serious. Everybody thinks that arthritis is just joint pains and body aches.
Yeah.
No, it's not. I've did so because my mom is a herbalist. She understands like the stuff that helps healing the body with natural stuff. So for me and RA, and even to add to the foundation, I want to bring everything that I know and educate everybody because this is a serious topic that is not talked about a lot. It's just
Yeah.
made fun of,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
in a way, it hurts.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not just something old people get, all ages get it, and it will do you, it doesn't care what you have planned for the day.
It
It
doesn't.
will take over.
It definitely does not. It definitely does not care about what you have planned for the day, what's on your agenda, how how you feel, what the weather may. If especially if the weather's bad, then yeah.
Yeah.
Like so, with I want to be more active. I want to be more engaging. I did want to do like like the social media part. I want to do like a little questionnaire where like you post on, how people post on their stories and then like give you the option to ask a question. I want to do those like, what questions do you have about RA that you didn't know about, or what's something you feel like you want to know about RA?
Yes.
Give people like the opportunity to like figure out like, okay, is more to it. So like if you know somebody that has RA or arthritis or osteoarthritis or any form of arthritis in their body, then you would know like, okay, this is not something to take joke as a joke. This is something like, oh, okay, I could figure out how my friend feeling, like what's going on with them, and where's something that can benefit them. Like my friends know for me, I can't eat certain beef, I can't eat certain meats, and I can't drink certain things because I don't eat red meat no more for real. Depending on what it is, I might eat it every now and then. But like burgers and stuff, if the moment I eat a burger within the next 10 minutes, my entire body is in an entire flare up,
Ooh.
where everything is swollen and I can't move and walk. So that is something that be like that I feel like a lot of people should know, like especially if you're around people that has arthritis. It's stuff that triggers them.
Mm-hmm.
That you should know and
Mm-hmm.
be aware of. So that's what I want to do is get more people engaged and entertained with
Yeah.
the life of RA residents, because that's what I want to call it. We are RA residents.
So do you already have social media that we can start following you along with?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
So
please
for
tell
me,
us
wait, Ma, you talking about my personal account?
whichever one you want us to keep up with you so we can interact with you and spread this awareness.
Okay, so I'm starting on with my personal account. I have an Instagram. My
Okay.
Instagram is underscore dot clutches. So it's CLUTCHS dot underscore.
Okay.
And if like there's any questions that I'm starting to post questions more about my situation. So if there's any questions that anybody have, you can feel free to reach out about it. Or if there's any like if you know somebody that has a situation or is going through something similar to like what I have going on, and you want to know like how can I help them in a way, like what is more beneficial to them, what is something like what type of diets do they need to look at, or what are good exercises for them in a situation, like if they have knee pains or certain things you could do to that for that back and anything else, like I would be mindful to what they have going on. I would love to give out information and help the best way I can if possible.
Sounds great. Thank you for your advocacy. We look forward to seeing you at the walk. I appreciate your time and best of luck with your journey. Come back
Yes,
anytime.
yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, Trina. You have a great day as well.
You too. Be sure you follow along. You can get information about the St. Louis walk or a walk near you at arthritis.org and find out more when you link over to whichever platform you want to watch my videos from runradio.net. Thank you.